So good morning, Street Switch Photography. You can watch the Tommy Robinson court case right here, or whatever it is that's happening. 1 second, I'm just going to find out. Watch the trial of Tommy Robinson right here live on this channel. Let's do it.
Street Switch Photography.
So welcome back to this Monday morning. Yes, I hate Mondays. I think everybody does. Anybody in the sort of right frame of mind, or has the sort of frame of mind I have. Anyway, we're back here for the live trial of Tommy Robinson. He's being dragged into court again. I'm not quite what for. I don't know. I'm not quite what sure it actually was. Excuse me, that's my phone going off in the background there. I'm receiving my scooter back today after the gentleman that's fixed it for me from the scooter clinic over in Derby has fixed my bike and he's done an absolutely fantastic job. So I will be taking delivery of that today. I'll give the scooter clinic a shout out on this channel. If you have any problems with any of your vintage Vespas, modern Vespas, anything like that, this is the guy to see. Very reasonable rates, very fast at his job, very good at his job, high quality work. I can't complain one single bit. Anyway, back to the Tommy Robinson trial. Yeah, he's been in court before on several occasions, which basically the judiciary are trying to shut this guy down because they don't like what he stands for and what he's actually trying to achieve. He's very outspoken. We all know who Tommy Robinson is, former leader of the EDL. And the reason I say former leader is because he actually shut the EDL down because he didn't agree with some of the people that were trying to infiltrate the EDL. And, you know, he wasn't up for that. He isn't racist. There's never been any footage of him actually being racist, even though people like to call him racist, Nazi and everything else. But anyway, whether you agree with him or you disagree with him, I personally do not follow him. I watched one of his documentaries which set me off on my sort of activism type thing, doing the tents and everything in town. But to watch any documentary, if there's one that I can actually recommend, and that's called Panodrama, and it's how mainstream media lie to the British public about what's actually happened, and they use misinformation to sort of brainwash people into believing whatever it is that, or the agenda that they're pushing. Let's get on with this actual footage. This is live from GB News. I'll give GB News a shout out as well. Live outside the courts. Now, I might have to disappear whilst this is playing a mute microphone, but I'll leave it playing in the background. Now, as we know, Tommy Robinson is quite outspoken. He's basically said a lot of things in the past which people didn't like, but it was the truth, and some of the stuff he's actually said has actually came true. He's got several documentaries out. He's always being dragged back into court because they're trying to silence him. They put him in prison, trying to silence him. They will not silence him, and there's a lot of people that actually follow him. Him and Nigel Farage don't actually get on, or Nigel Farage, let's just say, doesn't get on with him because of his views. Now, Nigel Farage has got to be careful of who it is he's mixing with, especially coming up to the main elections. We've got local elections very soon in May. Let me just turn this down. We've got a lot of elections coming up in May, and judging by what happened on Saturday, where I seen two people calling the people in town handing out leaflets Nazi, racist, fascist and all the rest of it, it was disgusting behaviour by the older generation. Now, I thought the older generation would have known better. Clearly not. They're clearly lefties. They're clearly brainwashed, or whatever it is you want to call them. We're always going to have this problem with the far left. Now, these two individuals, I did voice my opinion back to them that they can't go around putting targets on people's backs. They can't go around calling people that in public, although they have free speech. That is not without fucking consequence. Okay? If I call somebody in town a disgusting name, I expect to be pulled up for it. I expect to be sort of held to account for it. Because if you're going to go around making that sociably acceptable, I don't believe you have, you know, a really solid place in society, let alone in your own mind. It's disgusting behaviour. I think it's disgusting behaviour. Morning to the Melton Mafia. So yes, this is outside the courts in London. There's a trial of Tommy Robinson. If anybody knows anything about it, please leave a comment to update me, because I'm not 100% updated on this at the moment. We've got 8 people watching. Start hitting that like button to get more people liking and subscribing to the channel. We're heading towards 3,000. The Reform tent will be coming back into Melton on the 25th of this month. I will be down there doing another flag giveaway. We got rid of, I think it was 12 flags. I've still got some to give away. It looks like there's a lot of media there, mainstream and non-mainstream, independents. Now, in Great Britain we have something called freedom of press, which means if you're a person with a camera and you believe that something is best out of the public interest type of thing, you are allowed to record it and report on it, which comes into the free speech and freedom of expression. Now, left is only like that when it's actually in their favour, and they try and shut down debate other than that, and they try and call you all these horrible, disgusting names, of which I won't be repeating on this particular live. But I just find it, you know, there's a lot more lefties in Melton than I actually thought there was. Now, I'm not saying all lefties are bad, because they're not. We had somebody came down a couple of meetings before that was down there at the tent. I can't remember his name. I think his name's Neil, and he's such a nice guy. Yes, he's got left-wing views, but he is a nice guy, and I've said to him, look, we'll have to go for a coffee together and sort of have a chat. And we're trying to get something started in Melton on the bandstand or somewhere like that in town, where people can debate in a safe environment without feeling worried about being called any disgusting names. And he's actually up for that, and he wants to help me do that, because we debate, and you have a debate, shake hands at the end of it. And I'm actually friends with this guy. He's a really nice guy. He should have been a councillor, and that's what I said. He came up to me on Saturday and actually said, thank you so much for that video that you did last time round. And I was like, no problem. If you're going to come up and you're going to ask relevant questions to Reform, Labour, Conservatives or anybody, I'm all for that. If you don't want me to record it, that's fine, but remember, we're out in public. But if you ask me nicely, I don't like being on camera, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that, because I understand not everybody likes being on camera. I'm a street photographer, for God's sake. Am I waffling? UK will be free again. We've got a message from... I haven't got my glasses on. Let me just grab my glasses. I'll grab my glasses. Give him a quick... So it's this is from Shadow Wool. Shout out to Shadow Wool, whatever that is. UK will be free again. I hope so. We're gonna end up with Reform, but my worry with Reform is basically it's being taken over by the Conservatives. Are we just going to end up with two cheeks of the same arse, as you might put it? Are they actually going to look at illegal immigration? Immigration itself, legal immigration, isn't such a big problem, because we know who these people are coming into the country and whether they're going to benefit the country or not. Now,
want to build the bet you want in seconds?
It interrupts the,
you're on with Unibet Bet Builder.
Illegal immigration is actually right. You look at Manchester now. Go and watch DJE Media and some of the recent videos he's done, and it is actually shocking. It's true when they say you import the third world, you're going to get the third world. There's been all these immigrants beating the absolute shit out of each other on the streets of Manchester. And I'm not just talking fisticuffs either, I'm talking weapons. There's Knockout Audits who did a video. I won't share his videos, I won't share videos of other auditors without permission, because if it's a clip, not so bad if I give them a shout out, but I prefer not to. But yeah, they've got some absolutely excellent material on there, 100% in the moment, happening right there in front of you. Now, immigrants fighting on the streets over drug crime and things like that, you know, Piccadilly Gardens in Manchester is out of control. It's totally out of control, and it's overridden with migrants. And this is basically this diversity and inclusion that Labour want to bring in under this socialist government. It's not working. It simply isn't working. And I don't care who says it, you know, it's working in Leicester, because it isn't working in Leicester, is it? It's not working anywhere. It never has worked anywhere if you do your research. And I'm just hoping this microphone is picking me up and it's clear enough. I actually invested in a new microphone and everything from a setup that I have here in the YouTube studio, or what I like to call Compost Corner. But yeah, this is live outside the Tommy Robinson trial in London. I believe it's London. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Now, there has also been a recent news report on a guy that owned his own Quran, but he was a Christian. He was reading it and he didn't agree with what was in there. Now, I do not advocate for this type of behaviour, but it was his Quran and he went out in public and he set light to it. I think it was in Leeds. And it was his, and he got attacked by a gentleman with a knife. The guy with the knife was a Muslim. He attacked him with a knife. That was the response he got. Now, we say we have free speech. They charged him with it. They charged him for burning the Quran. The other guy didn't get charged for attacking him with a knife. What sort of fucking judgment system have we got when that's actually happening? The mic is great. Oh, Cressy boy, I haven't seen you for a while down at work, mate. I'll have to have a chat to you next time I see you if you're not working, alright? Nice to see you back on the channel, buddy. I dare any Christian to copy and paste the book of Numbers with character 31, verses 17 to 18, and that's from Roller Tata. I don't know what. Shout out to all four of you anyway for commenting. Thank you. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, and this guy got arrested for burning the Quran. Now, I don't think we should be burning any books of any religion, but the fact still remains it was his book, it was his property. He does what he likes with his property. And when this guy come out with the bloody knife and he managed to protect himself and guard himself, he got his hands cut up quite severely. And then they went and charged him with it for, I think it was religious hate or something along those lines. Anyway, the courts have just basically turned around and said, no, it was his property. There's nothing you can do about that. And it was actually a decent day for free speech. Now, in other news, the mosque that was supposedly burnt down in Brighton is actually found to have been not the mosque, it was a car outside. Now, before the fire was actually at the mosque, get this, they were raising money on a GoFundMe account for £250,000 to get themselves out of debt. They were doing a GoFundMe for that. And when that didn't work, what seems to have happened, now this is an opinion, okay, I want to make that very clear, this is an opinion, it's no conspiracy theory, it's my opinion. A few weeks later, they obviously didn't get the money that they wanted, so all of a sudden a car was set fire to, it was a car. Outside of it, you can see the video, the guy does tip petrol down near the door, and that's quite plain to see, so I think the intentions were to burn the mosque as well, but the car got burnt out. Now all of a sudden there's a GoFundMe for £250,000 for that particular mosque to fix the mosque. Does it cost £250,000 for a new fucking door? It's as corrupt and as bent as fuck, and that's my opinion on it. It's as dodgy as hell. That is what these people have done. Now, my thought on this was, because of what happened in Manchester with the two Jewish gentlemen that were savagely attacked by a gentleman called Jihad, and I won't call him a gentleman, the evil bastard called Jihad. Okay. I thought it was a response attack to that. Now, this is going to sound really bad. I'm so glad it wasn't, because this could have set tensions between British people, Muslims and other ethnic minorities in Great Britain very high. And we don't need that. We don't need that. I'm telling you now. Civil war in Great Britain would not be a good thing. Are we heading that way in your opinion? What do you think? I mean, excuse me. Oh, I can pause it from over here. I never realised that. So, Paul, I'm just reading some messages, guys, and whether I can actually say them on this live feed or not. Now, everybody is entitled to their opinion on the chat. That's absolutely no problem whatsoever. Now, if you're in the live chat and you can see what's just been written, go and take a read of it and then see whether you agree underneath or not. Type whether you agree with Paul. I'm not going to say whether I do or don't. I'm gonna be one of these wishy-washy fuckers that sit on the fence, you know, the type. Well, I don't really sort of disagree or agree with, you know, most things in life. I just sort of sit here and just sort of have no opinion on anything, and then not bother to go down and vote, and then just basically just be another sheep that sits on the fence about everything. So yeah, this is the live Tommy Robinson trial. Now, whether you agree or disagree with Tommy Robinson, some of the things he has actually done in the past, we all have a history. We all have a history. Every single one of us have done something wrong in life. Tommy Robinson actually holds his hands up and says, I was wrong at certain things that he's done. Now, I'm a big advocate for that. Anybody that can hold their hands up and admit they were wrong and hold themselves to account for, me included, I believe is a pretty decent person. Too many people taking offence these days to certain sort of things. Being called names, being called derogatory names that puts targets on people's backs, I don't agree with. If you are, I can't read that. No, I don't agree with that. There we go. I've just managed to read it. Now, when you send a message on here, Paul, there's a heart in the corner of the phone because I'm reading the live from my phone and I can't read the full sentence, and you can't move that little emoji bloody thing down in the corner. When we have illegal, now I'm going to make this very clear, illegal migrants coming over to this country on boats with no passports and we don't know who they are. And then we have these men with Serco going into houses unchecked. And we've had this in Melton, straight across the road from a park, and then they decided that it'd be a good idea to take a visit to the park straight across the road from, and all the kids ran off back into the houses. That's a little worrying after what's been happening around the country, especially at Epping, where recently a migrant assaulted, I will say, I won't say the actual word, but assaulted a very young child. And we do have, you know, a national inquiry into ethnic minority grooming gangs, don't we? So I wouldn't turn around and say they were British. No, actually, I've got that the wrong way round. If you move to this country and you've lived here, and you've entered via the means that you're supposed to enter, and you've got a passport, and you're running a business, a car garage or something like that, and you're a Muslim, for instance, and you've been here for years and you've been paying your taxes and you've sort of integrated into society, yes, you are a British Muslim. You're a British Muslim. If a foreigner comes to a country to live, they respect you. Yeah, I mean, you try going over to somewhere like Afghanistan with your blonde-haired missus wearing a cross on a chain and wearing a, I wouldn't say revealing outfit, what we wouldn't class as revealing, but a revealing outfit. To them, that'd be it. You'd be ridiculed for it. You'd get told to cover them up. You're not allowed to wear that chain over it. You respect other countries', religions, their way of life, and everything else. It doesn't mean you have to follow it. You respect it. Because we respect people that want to go to mosques and pray. We respect the Jews who have their, what do they call their religious places? Synagogues. They go to their synagogues and they don't cause any problems in society in Great Britain whatsoever. But we do have a lot of anti-Semitic people in Melton coming from in Great Britain, coming from the far left. Now, not the left, the far left. I'm just reading another comment by Cressboy. If a foreigner comes in, can't see what was written at the end there, so I'll have to wait until somebody else comments. But Paul has got a good point. What do you think? If anybody can see the question, give him an answer. If I am a Christian, am I a Christian? Yes, I am. Non-practicing, but it doesn't mean I don't sort of, believe or disbelieve or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I am a Christian. I did pray when I lost my mum and dad 6 months apart back in COVID. My dad to COVID, my mum to cancer. And within those months I quit drinking, I quit smoking, I quit being an arsehole. I look after my family. I don't I don't disrespect other people's religions. I've got Muslim friends. I've got gay friends. I've got LGBTQ4K friends, believe it or not. But what I don't do is encroach on their beliefs or anything else. You know, I'm not like that. But I don't believe in going out in public and bullying people, especially a lady that's giving out leaflets in the street. So yeah, this is the live Tommy Robinson trial. I don't know what's going to happen. I will leave it playing for half an hour. Actually, I might be able to go further on. That looks like bloody what's his name, doesn't it? What's the MP's name? It's not, is it? This is how bad my eyes are. My eyes are awful. I should have been to Specsavers. Now, I'm actually quite excited this morning because I'm getting my scooter back. Yes, I'm a scooter boy, I'm a mod. I like my Northern Soul music, I like Oasis, I like all sorts of different types of music, you know, right down to Madness. I like Madness, they're pretty good. Two-tone. Now, Culture Wars. Culture Wars. How is it, if anybody can answer this question, including you, Crestboy, including you, Melton Mafia, everybody, and you, Paul, why is it that somebody from a different country, let's just say Jamaica, can move over to Great Britain, they open a restaurant? I've never tried Jamaican food in my life. I would love a Jamaican restaurant right here in Melton Mowbray, because I have seen people eat Jamaican food and it looks like they're having some sort of fucking orgasm. And I want a bit of that, you know what I mean? I want to try these different foods and everything. All these other religions and races have managed to sort of integrate into our society. And they're actually, you know, it's nice to go and be able to walk into town and say to my wife, do you fancy a Chinese? Do you fancy an Italian? Do you fancy whatever? And actually stand and talk to these people and sort of integrate with them, go for a coffee with them, you know, become friends. That's the way it should be. But when you've got a warmongering religion, and I'm not saying all Muslims, by the way, this does not, you get moderate Muslims that still pray, go to their mosque and do whatever. We have got a mosque here in Melton, but they have these extremist views. They have these extremist views about, you know, marrying kids at 9 years old, and it's okay to marry a second cousin and things like this. And I've got to admit, it's one hell of a messed up religion, in my opinion. Now they're trying to put through the Houses of Commons a blasphemy laws so that nobody will be able to criticise Islam. Well, why don't they do that for Christianity and every single other religion then? Why exclusively Islam? Because when you actually look at it and read it and ask questions, it falls to pieces like wet toilet paper. That's why. I mean, my friend, I won't mention his name again, but my friend who works in the centre of town, he's a Muslim, he's a practising Muslim, he's such a nice guy. I still needed to buy him hot chocolate, actually. I keep forgetting. I keep saying I'll pop in and I'll have a coffee and I'll buy you hot chocolate from Greggs or something. Anyway, he fled his country because of the extremism, and now it's coming over here and he does not want it. He does not want it at all. And he's such a stand-up bloke, he'll help anybody. You know what I mean? He's a very charitable bloke. He's helped me out of a couple of blue sticky situations when I've been in town with my camera. And I love him. He's a brilliant bloke. Such a nice bloke, and he's always welcome in this town. Now, another thing that I did as well was I have my views on LGBTQ4K, which I have, and I'm entitled to those views, whether I agree or disagree with it. I do not disagree, right, with a let's just say a 38-year-old woman all of a sudden wanting to become a man because they feel like a man trapped inside a woman's body, okay? I don't disagree with that. You're not harming anybody else making that decision, and you go and knock yourself out. You go and do whatever you need to do to live a happy and full life. That I'm 100% for. But when you've got a 40-year-old bloke wanting to change into a woman and then enter women's spaces and go in women's changing rooms at the swimming baths, I do have a problem with that. And I also think children should be protected from it. I think kids should be allowed to be kids because they have vivid imaginations. You can tell a young boy that he's fucking Batman and he'll believe you. Do you know what I mean? They need to be left alone, and they need to be left alone to be kids. We don't need to be putting this on to kids. Now, if you disagree with that, that's fine. You're entitled to it. Playing with a bit of blue tack. I used to have fidget spinners, but I didn't find them satisfying enough. So I have things like this: the Rubik's Magic, the Rubik's Cube. I always do these sort of things. And yes, I can do the Rubik's Cube before anybody asks. You go for what you call the daisy. Don't know whether you can see that. So you go, I'll show you, it's easier. I know a guy that can do the Rubik's, you get the daisy like that. Hold on. And then you reverse it, so you'll turn the blue to the blue. Turn it twice, 1, 2, the green to the green. 1, 2, and so on. And then you work your way up in layers like that all the way up. And then you get your corner, you look at the corner colours, and you do this movement with it. And it basically sorts the colours out as you do it. It's an algorithm. And there's some of the things I piss about with. So yeah, we're live at the Tommy Robinson trial. Just make sure it's there, yeah. This is live on GB News. In a few minutes I'm going to go and make myself a nice hot cup of coffee. So what I'll do is I'll mute the microphone and be right back. See you in a minute. So yeah, just waiting for the kettle to boil. I'm going to have a nice hot cup of coffee. For anybody that's new to my channel, we've got 7 people actually watching at the moment. Please share my channel. We're nearly, well, we're about 200 odd of 3,000. I'd like to get up to 3,000 subscribers if possible. So this is the live Tommy Robinson trial. They're trying to silence Tommy Robinson again over on GB News, or you can watch it right here on Street Switch Photography. Let me move this about a bit because it don't look right. That's better. I've got this new surround for OBS and I'm not sure whether I like it or not. I might change it. You can change it to whatever you want. I look a bit like Homer Simpson, don't I? Dull. So yeah, this is live. Let's read the description for any of you who want to read the description. There's 646 watching that. I've got 7. That's shit. Absolute shit. But I'm only a small YouTube channel. There you go. Let me just go and grab my coffee. So yeah, I'm back. Live Tommy Robinson court case or trial, whatever you want to call it. I've got my bit of blue tack. People wonder why I play with blue tack and things like that. I'm fidgety because I've got ADHD, you see, so yeah. I don't know if any of you guys, the 6 people watching, seen my video from Saturday and what actually happened. I was live in town at the Reform tent and I had people stopping and basically calling this older lady. She's more mature than me. She's a devout Christian, and they were stopping her and you know, she was just handing out leaflets. She wasn't forcing them up anybody or anything like that. And they were calling her Nazi, fascist, racist, all the rest of it, just because she was handing out leaflets. It was disgusting behaviour. So I stuck up for her. Looks busy. You visit anywhere like Piccadilly Gardens in Manchester, it's unrecognisable. It's mad. We have an illegal immigration problem. I'd say we have an immigration problem, full stop. We've got open borders, haven't we? And do you think Keir Starmer will stop it? No. Do you think the new leader of the Green Party will stop it? You know, the same guy that thinks you can hypnotise a woman to make her breasts grow? That guy. What a fucking joke he is. He's a complete wet wipe, that man. Really looking forward to getting my mode of transport back this afternoon. I'm working on it, put it all back together, get the lights working, get the battery charged. A bit wet today for a ride out, I think, and probably tomorrow as well, but it's nice it's coming back today. Again, I'll give Scooter Clinic a shout out on Facebook. He's absolutely brilliant. Just making something with the blue tack. Stick around if you want to see what it is. I'm like a schoolboy. I'm not even joking. I'm a big bloody kid. Have a guess in the comments if you think you know what it's going to be. Now, I put a lot of effort into these sculptures. I'm not a very good sculpturist. Is that even a word? What is it going to be? You ready? Probably shouldn't have had my mouth open when I did that. What the actual hell? Oh, anyway. I screwed it up now. Yes, I made a penis out of blue tack. I drink copious amounts of sodding coffee. So for anybody that's just joined us, this is the live Tommy Robinson trial in London. I think it's London. Let's make sure. I'll read the description, may help. In real time, Stephen Yaxley Lennon, after he was charged with failing to provide the PIN number for his mobile phone when he was arrested under the Terrorism Act, because he had whistleblowers' contacts on there, and he's under obligation to actually protect those people. Is that what they're really trying to get him on, for not providing a PIN number to his phone? You can't be fucking serious. That's what the trial is for. Wow. That's ridiculous. I'm gonna sneeze. I'm gonna go and blow my nose. I'll be back in a minute. I hope I'm not getting a bloody cold. So yeah, welcome back. We're here at the Stephen Yaxley Lennon, also aka known as Tommy Robinson, who's on trial for not providing a PIN number to his phone when he was arrested under the Terrorism Act. For not providing a PIN number to his phone. Seriously. What an absolute waste of fucking money. That should be an absolute no-brainer. They shouldn't be arresting him for that. That's what I think. They shouldn't be having a trial for this. There's somebody with the England flag down there. There's Street Mike. He's cool, he is. He's such a fucking good reporter. He's so funny. See who else we can recognise. Street Mike's always got... I think he's a photographer as well. A pretty talented photographer, Street Mike. Not sure what his actual name is, but... he's usually at Speaker's Corner in London with young Bob and Bob, with the preachers and things like that, who preach Christianity and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just trying to check to make sure that my messages... Okay. And what I'll do is if my bike turns up whilst I'm on live, I'll mute the microphone, go out and sort my bike out, so if the feed goes off or anything like that, just ignore it and log off and you should be fine. Here we go. Got 5 people watching. It's better than a kick in the old plums, isn't it? Now I'm actually trying to quit vaping at the minute. I'm into my 2nd week. This will be my 3rd week on Saturday, and I'm actually on this stuff. And I'm down. I was on three packs of this a week. I'm now down to 1 pack a week, 30 milligram. That's banana flavoured. So hopefully by the end of the month or the end of next month, I'll be completely quit and I'll be nicotine free. And now I've got hiccups because I drank that coffee too fast. It's alright guys, I'm just looking at one of my lenses I've just recently fixed. If you know in the comments, leave a comment. Does anybody know what lens that is? I use it for street photography. It's a manual lens. It's called a Helios. They used this to record the latest Batman film in certain parts of the movie because of its cinematic look that it has. Nice lens. I'm also a big collector of retro cameras like this one. You can't get any more retro than that. So I've just got a message off one of my mod friends. A whole 0.21 megapixels. So it looks like they're all just entering the court area. Stephen Yaxley Lennon, also known as Tommy Robinson, is on trial for not providing his PIN number for his phone when he was arrested under the Terrorism Act at the airport. Yeah, Crestboy just saying it's a camera lens. I know. I've got a problem. I've got a problem, mate. I seem to think in my head that everybody else finds that interesting, but I know really deep down inside they don't, because I've got to admit it's pretty sodding boring, isn't it? Let's be honest. Here, I'll just show you my camera lens. I'll show you my brown paper bag collection next. I'll leave it next to my calculator collection. You know what I mean? I'm an exciting bloke. Yes, I'm old and boring. You want to see my film camera collection? Got Kiev here, look. I've got over 40 different cameras. This one being one of my favourites. Yeah, because I think you'll be interested, this is how it sounds. Yeah. Serious stuff, that. Serious stuff. Don't know if you can see it in the picture. That thing here. That's an old Polaroid. Well, at least act like you're interested, you know. So Crestboy was basically saying if a foreigner comes to my country to live, they need to respect our country and our laws and our beliefs. Then yes, I will agree. Totally agree with that, 100%. Let's get more people in the room. Share it. Like it. Subscribe. Again, for anybody just entered the room, this is the Tommy Robinson trial, also known as Stephen Yaxley Lennon, on trial for not providing his PIN number to the police when arrested under the Terrorism Act at the airport when returning from abroad. Now I've got the full story and I know what it's about. You'd have thought that I've had more important things to spend the money on. Question for everybody that's watching. How come we can stop a Russian freight ship coming into our waters? How come we can stop them but we can't stop a rubber fucking dinghy? I'm surprised there ain't some far left idiots there, to be honest. Morning, mate. Absolute. Can't read it at the moment, mate, because the heart, again, in the corner of my phone is in the bloody way. Just put another message. A booster jab for a dog now is 90 bloody quid. 90 quid for a booster jab. I mean, my dog's 9 is a Parsons Jack Russell. Cost you a small fortune, but you love him, don't you? He's down here asleep at the minute. His name's Buddy. Buddy. He's fast asleep, snoring his bloody socks off. I'm going to knacker him out again later. He's getting a bit old and stiff now. I noticed when I let him out last night, he sort of, when he first gets up, he's a bit, you know, a bit stiff. So a regular, I think 3 to 4 regular short walks a day, not short walks, average walks a day will do him a lot better than 2 really long ones. So yeah, it gets me out in the fresh air as well, so it's good for your mental health. Get a dog, but make sure you can look after the bugger. I used to work with dogs at the vet camp. Best job I ever had, apart from this one, obviously, apart from doing this. This is a hobby. But yeah, I used to love working at the vet camp. So it's 10:15. Seven people in the chat room. Hello there. Should I have gone, hello there? Oh. Morning, Deadpool. I'll call you Deadpool because I don't know whether you want your whole name mentioning online or not. You may not want your whole name out there, you know what I mean? So morning to Deadpool, morning to Crestboy, morning to... I can't read that. Lezello Pollock. Pollock, yeah. And Paul. How the devil am I? Yeah, I'm good, mate. Getting me the old scoop back today. I've got to rebuild it. Obviously, I've got the back frame to put on both side panels, give it a good wash. Make sure everything's above board. Just so you know, Deadpool, this is the, well, you can read the title, but yeah. Tommy Robinson, also known as Stephen Yaxley Lennon, at trial in London because he was arrested whilst arriving back at the airport in in Great Britain after being on holiday. He's now on trial for not providing his PIN number to the police when arrested under the Terrorism Act. Now, under the Terrorism Act, you are supposed to... You don't have a right to silence. You don't have that. That's why they used that in this case. So yeah, Deadpool just asking what we're watching. Again, it's the Tommy Robinson trial because he didn't provide his PIN number to the police when arrested under the Terrorism Act. His excuse, well, I won't call it an excuse, his reason for that was because there's private information on there, whether that would be covered by GDPR. I don't think you have any rights under the Terrorism
Room
Act.
with a View?
So that's what they arrested him under.
View.
They used a mechanism that they knew they would be able to get whatever information they wanted out of him, including all his contacts, everything. Yeah, typical UK. I think some of the hostages, so we're talking about Palestine and Israel, there has been a peace treaty reached. I know that Hamas are refusing to disarm, which we knew would fucking happen anyway, let's be honest. They're a bunch of warmongering terrorists. They're refusing to disarm. But yeah, I think it was something like 6 or 7 of the hostages are due to be released this afternoon. I will try and do a live on it later on tonight, but over the weekend there was still... The Palestinian protesters were still out. And do you know why they were out? Because they now want Great Britain to go to war with Israel. This is how fucking idiotic and moronic these fucking people actually are. These far left idiots. You know, the government protesters, the ones that are paid for by the government. They're delusional. Now, I don't know if you watched my video on Saturday, Deadpool. Did you see it? Yeah, the deadline was today. Or was it yesterday? The deadline? 10 PM. Could have been. I could be wrong. They're going to stand on the front line. Thought the deadline was 10 AM. Yeah, I'm not quite sure when the deadline was. I don't want to come off this feed now to try and find out, but I can have a... If I do this, you see, it goes over to there and then straight back there. That's OBS for you. Use window capture. And I've got my soundboard, but some of me sounds aren't working. That one is. Yeah, the one that... well, there were 2 of them. There was one where a guy walked up to the guy that was handing out leaflets, took a leaflet off him, screwed it up, threw it in the bin. Totally disrespectful. Just chucked it in the fucking bin, called him a Nazi and walked off. And then the second one was a guy that walked up to the woman and basically called her a racist fascist or a Nazi or something like that. I overheard it and put him straight. And to me... The thing is, the demographic of these people seems to be the older generation who you thought would have known better, considering it might have been their parents that fought in the Second and First World War to stop this nation becoming a Nazi nation. And these are the idiots that we have that want labour in and stuff like that. You know, it's mind-blowing. It's absolutely mind-blowing, mate. I hate bullies. I can't stand bullies. I was bullied at school. That's the reason I hate bullies. And I will not stand for it. Anyone. I'll stick up for anybody that's being bullied. I don't care who they are. I don't like bullies. I don't give a shit what you've got going off up here. Well, I've got mental illness. I don't give a fuck what you've got. You don't bully other people to try and make yourself feel better about something. It's not socially acceptable in Great Britain to walk up to somebody, stick a target on someone's back and make them a bad person. These words become overused and they start to lose their meaning if you're going to try and do that sort of shit. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah. I mean, it's like the word pedophile. You could walk through town on a Tuesday, point at any random bloke in town or woman, it doesn't really matter, scream at the top of your voice pedophile and point at them and everybody would believe it. That's the potency that word has. And these words that they use like fascist, racist, Nazi and things like that, it's basically the same thing. Even though that person wasn't what you are saying they are, everybody else will start the witch hunt. And these are the types of things that get people into serious fucking trouble. And then people that are actually nonsense and stuff like that start getting away with shit because other people are too scared to speak out about it. It has a knock-on effect on people. We've just had 2 Jews lose their lives in Manchester because of this type of rhetoric from Labour. And make no mistake, that was because of Labour. Keir Starmer was in Liverpool at a conference, and some of the language he used was very divisive. He called everybody basically far right and everything else. These people are just Jew-hating idiots. I'm not on about the people that were in my video either. Again, I'll stick up for anybody. You know, when it becomes personal and things like that, there's absolutely no need for it whatsoever. If you are incapable of debate, shut the fuck up and move on. It's pretty simple. You don't need to go insulting people and their intelligence. Just trying to keep my eye on the time. I don't know how long this trial or how long it's going to be before they actually get any verdicts or anything, but what I'll have to do is actually come back because I'm going to have to log off in a few minutes because I've got my bike turning up, and then I've got to put it all back together, which will be fun. I'll have black bloody fingernails. But yeah, this is the live Tommy Robinson trial. Tommy Robinson, also known as Stephen Yaxley Lennon from Luton. He's on trial because he wouldn't provide his PIN number when arrested under the Terrorism Act. Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I'm exactly the same. People can call me anything they like as long as it's not aimed at somebody else. I'm not bothered if somebody calls me a moron or any of that. You know, I'm not bothered about that. I've got thick skin. Very thick skin. I'm almost as thick as my head. But when you're targeting an old age pensioner that's basically handing out leaflets in the street and using certain divisive terms to try and stifle debate before it's even been opened, it's fucking disgusting. It's disgusting. These people should know better. It's like they've lost all respect for any type of democracy or open dialogue whatsoever. There's no cohesive discourse. They live in an echo chamber. They live in their own heads. They literally live in this make-believe world. God, that was long words for me, wasn't it? Somebody shouting, "Shame on you." Now that'll be a lefty. Oh, it isn't. It isn't. Let me just move this over a little bit.
Shame on you!
God, he's got a big gob, hasn't he? He's got an England flag wrapped round him. So it's the right.
Shame on you!
Who's he shouting shame on you at?
Shame on you!
Shame on you! Go and have another drink, mate.
Shame on you!
Oh, that was something else that happened, of which I have got the footage for. Is there was a woman that walked past us while I was recording at the time, but I've got to find the footage, and she started screaming and shouting "Shame on you" to the reform tent, and I was like, she's a lively one. I didn't have a go at her though, because obviously it's a woman.
Shame on you! Shame on you!
Wow.
Shame on you!
Who's he talking to?
Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you!
I think he was sneezing. Right, I'm going to have to shoot off in a minute, guys. I'm going to find out what's happening with me with my scooter. I'm hoping the scooter clinic will let me know what time they're going to arrive. It was 30 minutes ago. So, breaking news, guys. I've just received an update. All hostages. 1 second. Trump's arrived in Israel and all hostages. I'm going to have to press on it to actually find out what it is that's happening and read the description, if there is one. So all hostages have been released by Hamas. Brilliant. All hostages have been released by Hamas. I think that Trump has arrived in Israel. So there's some good news there for anybody that wanted to know. All hostages have been released by Hamas. So it looks like they're sticking to the deal, but I don't think they'll disarm. They've said they're not going to disarm, which... what does that tell you? Go and grab my... where is it? So yeah, that guy shouting out "shame on you" is actually on the right, on the front line of the right there. Look, these are the things I'm on. Nicotine pouches, weak ones these are, but they're working. Deadpool just saying he can't see it lasting any more than 6 months. You see, the problem is, mate, over here in Great Britain, that's the one. That's all I care about. I'm not saying I don't care what's going on in the Middle East, but we have these Palestine protests every single weekend, and they're continuing to do it because now they want the government to go to war with Israel. These are warmongering fucking far left idiots, and they need sorting out. They need to ban that protest because there's no need for it now. The peace agreement has been reached. If it goes wrong, that's their own fault. Let them get on with it. Do you know what I mean? We need to look after what's here. I totally disagree with what Keir Starmer accept. He's basically rewarded terrorism by accepting Palestine as an actual state. I will never accept that. I will never accept that. They're anti-Semitic. They want all Jews gone. And they've proved it. I put a video up on YouTube a couple of days ago and it's been taken down. So you tell me why that is. And basically it was literally Palestine protesters shouting Nazi all the time and putting up all this sort of anti-Semitic chants and things like that all the time. But they found a new word to try and disguise it and try and call it Zionism. Like it's a bad thing.
Insurance, they're wanting for perjury. They're caught for perjury. Back to insurance.
Who's this geezer? Where are you going, mate? Where's he gone? I thought there'd be a few more there. My street might be good off too. The world's a horrible place and the UK is following it. It's no good. No, I totally agree with you there, mate. 100%. Some people just want war all of the time. They believe there's a, you know, they have in their own heads the way a world should actually be, and it's just not true. There's different religions, there's different, obviously faiths means religions, there's different races, there's different ways of life, and they all have their place in society, correct? Some aren't compatible with others. I mean, you can look all around the world and this is what happens. And then you get idiots like these liberals and socialists that think if you put everything together, it's all just going to fucking work somehow. No, it does not work. It's like having chips and fucking custard, it's disgusting. Like my short I did earlier, there's 3 things I dislike in this world: Brussels sprouts, chocolate milkshake and bullying. What a combination. So my worst food would be chocolate milkshake covered Brussels sprouts, served by a bully. Nine people watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you don't know what this one's actually about. This is Stephen Yaxley Lennon, aka Tommy Robinson, on trial after being arrested at the airport under the Terrorism Act for not providing his PIN number to his phone when asked for it. This is what the trial is for, the PIN number to his phone. It's absolutely bloody ridiculous. They will try, well, whether you support Tommy Robinson or not, this is ridiculous and a waste of taxpayers' money. This trial shouldn't be even happening. Now, his reasons for not giving that PIN number was because he has contacts on there to do with his journalism. If you don't want to call it journalism, that's absolutely fine. If you want to call him far right, that's absolutely fine. But let's get one thing straight. It's been proven right quite a few times now, hasn't he? And the EDL doesn't exist anymore. I'm not saying there aren't any far right idiots out there, because there are. But they're not the ones committing mass murder, are they? Charlie Kirk, assassination attempts on Trump. What happened in Manchester just recently, that was a far left ideology. I'm not even going to call him that actually, by an idiot called Jihad. You get these Palestine protests where they're calling for global intifada. If anybody knows what that means, it means eradication of all Jews. They shout from the river to the sea. If anybody knows what that means, it means eradication of all Jews. It's anti-Semitic. Also, while shouting, stop the genocide in Gaza. Now what happens is Hamas will get all of the residents, after Israel have dropped thousands of leaflets telling them to get out an area because they will be sending in the IDF and bombing it. Hamas will keep them there and use them as human shields. Most of Hamas are illiterate morons, inbred illiterate morons at that, and they've come out with some figures of how many people have actually died, and they are totally out of thin air. You cannot believe a single word these guys actually say. They can't even add 2 and 2 together, so how the fuck are they going to know how many people have actually died? Now, the other day I watched a video on somebody else's phone. It wasn't my phone, but on somebody else's phone, and it was what the body cam footage of what Hamas did on October the 7th. Anybody that goes to these Palestine protests should watch that, because I guarantee 100% you would not be quite so fucking keen to support that sort of thing. And I'm going to say this, I've watched some horrific stuff. I've watched some horrific stuff in the past, and this was another level. It was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I don't know why it's paused. It should come back in a minute. I'll give it a minute.
Sparbreaks.com has up to 60% off hundreds of spa escapes for a limited time only. Browse spas across the UK, discover deals you won't find anywhere else, and book today while offers last. Spa days, spa breaks, spa gifts, Sparbreaks.com.
Look what I have!
Aw, he's adorable.
He wags his tail and walks on his lead. Come.
So, that's actually gone off for some reason. This is Street Mike. He's live. He's brilliant.
So right here, right standing right next to Street Mike from Urban Scoop. So Tommy's just doing a couple of interviews, but when he arrives, sir, can we, because we want this in the background, we want all of this in the background nice and clear. So for those of you who are watching, don't forget, my name is Wendell Daniel from Urban Scoop, and we are coming to you live and direct, live and direct from outside of Westminster Magistrates Court. And Tommy Robinson is only a few feet away from me, and he's doing a couple of interviews for Uniting the Kingdom. That's what we're all part of. We're part of Uniting the Kingdom and Urban Scoop. So listen, let me do.
Oh,
so listen, man.
I don't do interviews.
You don't interview, but you're one of Tommy's heavies.
I know, yeah. Well, we go back 18 years, so you know what I mean. God bless everybody at home. urbanscoop.com/support-us. Any help can really haunt us.
So for anybody that's just joined us, this is the Tommy Robinson trial. I believe it's in London. He was arrested at the airport after arriving back from holiday, and he was arrested under the Terrorism Act. He's also known as Stephen Yaxley Lennon. Now, the reason he's on trial today is because he refused to give his PIN number for his phone. This is why the trial has been put on today. I believe it's just another attempt to actually try and silence him. He was the founder of the EDL, which was disbanded in 2008, between 2008 and 2012. He has very strong views on Islamic ways of life and things like that. So let's watch Wendell, also known as Street Mike, live at the Tommy Robinson trial in London.
Mega hats, nationwear.co.uk. We all love Bangladesh.
Excuse me, I'm here to interview you.
Oh, right, okay, sorry, okay.
By the way, got the plug in.
I can't take you nowhere. So what's going on at the moment with the scrum?
Well, basically, I've told security to bring them all over. We should be bringing them over now. There's a lot of press, as usual, that turn up. It's a big court case. It's a big name. Obviously, it's another BS court case. It just get thrown out, I personally believe. I mean, how can he be charged for terrorism?
Yeah, exactly. For not providing a PIN number to his bloody phone. It's ridiculous.
Not giving not giving the police your phone, your PIN number to your phone. You know what I mean? You've got journalistic privileges not to.
Well,
that was the word I was looking for. Journalistic privileges, basically protecting people under what you call GDPR. Is not allowed to give out certain information because you basically say to somebody when they're giving you information, your information will be safe and not released. He has a sort of respect for them to do that.
He's coming over right now.
Excuse me, he's coming.
For crying out loud, careful!
So Tommy, good morning, sir.
Here's the man himself.
You're appearing at Westminster Magistrates Court today, charged with terrorism. What's your
He's such a good public speaker, I've got to admit that.
assessment?
Now, Tommy has got ADHD, the same as me. You can tell just by his whole demeanour.
On this trumped-up charge.
My assessment is that Axel Rudakabana, the government failed to call him a terrorist. The police went out of their way to not label him a terrorist. He was found with an Al-Qaeda manual, hence a terrorist. He was found with ricin, hence a terrorist. The police hid all those things, and the media, these lot, deemed him a Welsh choir boy. Yeah? That's what happened. Rather today, I have been purposely held under terrorism legislation. They will make a massive deal out of the fact that I'm being charged under terrorism legislation because I, as a journalist, refuse to give the state access to what's on my phone. Because I'm a journalist, because there are sources of information in here. We have witness statements today from sexual abuse and rape survivors who have confined that they didn't trust the authorities, they don't trust the police. When they get me certain information, it's because they trusted me and they did not want the authorities to have access to it. The reason they didn't want the authorities to have access to it is because in Rotherham, in Rochdale, in Oldham, in all these cities, do you know what the police did? Girls went in with their knickers after being raped with DNA on them, and the police got rid of the evidence. In every city, the police worked with the gangs, the government, the state, the authorities worked with the Islamic gangs to hide the crimes. Why would I give access to those same corrupt officials, access to the people who give me information? I have lots of information on my next documentary, which I'm still yet to finish because of all this bullshit, but my next documentary, which is Labour's Islamic rape gangs, and they want to know what I've got. You will hear today Everything they question me about under the Terrorism Act, none of it makes sense because none of it's to do with terrorism. It's all to do with my legal, lawful activities. Every one of these journalists should be outraged at what they're doing and outraged at this illegal behaviour. This is state persecution. I'm very grateful to the United States. I'm very grateful to Elon Musk for helping me fight against this.
Tommy, if you were a terrorist and if the authorities believed you were a terrorist, why are you not on remand since the 28th of...
Now, whether you agree or disagree with Tommy Robinson, you've got to admit he has got a point, and a very good point at that. Yes, he has some extreme views on things. This does not make him a terrorist, and the way people try to sort of envisage him, if you know what I mean.
July last year.
The first word to the officer was, we're detaining you under Terrorism Act. I then went, under the fucking Terrorism Act.
Thank you, Deadpool.
Tommy, don't worry, we know you're not a terrorist. So what are you doing then? Yes. What are you doing then? Did the British public want terrorism legislation to be used against journalists? Or do you want it used against...
So do you believe that the system is misusing the terrorism legislation?
No, for the last 15 years, the system... This and the police are a tool and a weapon of a totalitarian state. A totalitarian state doesn't like criticism. Keir Starmer doesn't like criticism. Labour government don't like criticism. None of them like criticism. So they use this. This is the process. Is the punishment. I've been under this. How many times do I keep being arrested? How many times am I in court? How much does it cost? The cost of today is insane again to fight this. I'm just grateful I'm still in the fight. So.
On 13th of September, over 3 million people, 3 million patriots were in London. Do you think the judge may...
Breaking news. I'm just going to play you this. I'm not going to name the person that sent me it, but...
Breaking news story. If you say that you're born and bred in this country, that will be deemed as a hate crime. Next, the weather for your region.
So I don't know if you heard that. Basically, breaking news. If you say that you are born and bred in this country, it's not, or you say that somebody isn't born and bred in this country, it can be seen as a hate crime. So that's breaking news for you there. Let's continue with the Tommy Robinson interview.
Says, hold on, this guy could be a terrorist, is a terrorist, because so many people are out there supporting you.
Everyone knows I'm not a terrorist, including this judge. He knows that when they hear... I was very clear with them. I answered all their questions, which you're going to hear today. You're going to hear all that. I answered every one of their questions. I just simply, for my point, I'm a journalist, not having access to my source of information. That's it. I'll answer anything else you want, but I'm not going to divulge this information that's on this...
Now, if anybody doesn't know what a citizen journalist is, anybody has the right to carry a camera and record what is going on in public on a public street. If it is in the public interest, they are doing something called citizen journalism. We have something called free press. You don't need a card to tell somebody you are a citizen journalist. I wonder how they're going to deal with this when they bring in the digital ID. It's not going to work, is it?
Phone, because you're not having access to it.
The final question. Yep. What is the worst possible outcome of this trial today and tomorrow?
Send him back to prison.
I've been eating tuna for a few months. And I've put on a bit of weight, so it ain't all that bad. I need to lose a bit of weight.
How can he say that? How can this man actually say that after what they did to him? He has been to prison because he basically told the truth. They put him in prison because they want to silence him. It's disgusting what the state have done to him. I do not agree with what they have done to him. Now, whether you agree with him or not, he is not a terrorist. Okay, he might have some far-right views, but he's certainly by no means a terrorist. And there's not one video online or anywhere of him saying anything racist. He isn't even a racist or a Nazi. So when you hear people saying this, it's complete and utter bullshit. And then they try and tie in the St. George's Cross to call it far-right. He might have led a far-right movement, but he shut that movement down as soon as it was hijacked and became far-right. And they were known as the EDL. That's the truth. If people don't like that, I'm sorry, it's tough shit. It's the truth. If you don't like the truth, you're living in a fucking echo chamber of a world by yourself.
I mean, as normal,
cheers, man.
Wishing you all the best. We'll speak to you when you come back. And I see we've got Don from Canada.
All the way from Canada.
So Don, a quickie, sir. I'll capture you when you come out. So that's Tommy Robinson. He's now...
So, guys, that's the Tommy Robinson trial. They're in Westminster Magistrates Court. He's just about to enter the court. I'm taking it they're going to be a couple of hours. We will come back as soon as I've got the verdict. I'll come back live. It's been interesting to see Street Mike interviewing Tommy Robinson. Now, whether you agree with Tommy Robinson or not, he does not deserve going to prison for not providing a PIN number to his phone under the Terrorism Act. Now, he's also known as Stephen Yaxley Lennon. He was brought up in Luton, and again, like I say, nobody deserves this type of treatment by this far left judiciary that we have in this country. It's two-tier. The policing's two-tier. Sadiq Khan is in charge of the police in London, in Greater London, the Met Police, and the way they treat people over there is basically just two-tier. It's two-tier. We've got a two-tier communist, Stasi, Marxist government, and it needs to stop now. We know that Reform are going to win the next election, but the next milestone is the local elections. Go and make sure you vote. Vote whatever you want. Vote with your head, not your heart. Vote for your situation that you are in. Keep it respectful. If you want to go down and debate these people at the tents, keep it respectful. Ask some relevant questions. Don't go round putting tags on people's backs saying that they're all these horrible, disgusting names that you call them. I'll be down there when I'm hoping the other tents turn up down there, including Labour, Independent, Lib Dems, everybody. And they all deserve a fair crack of the whip. I will call out anybody that calls, even Labour or anybody, Labour, Reform, anybody. If anybody calls out any stupid names, and all this name calling and shit slinging has got to stop. Otherwise, we're just going to stay stuck in this fucking clamp at the moment that we're in, which is basically a shit slinging competition of who can win this sort of, oh, I called you a bugger. Well, I know you called me a tart. Oh, well, it's pathetic. This is not fucking democracy. It's pathetic. We need to get out this echo chamber, open some dialogue, open some cohesive discourse, actually get talking about it, and actually get these questions answered that people want bleeding answering on immigration, on, you know, all sorts of everything, inflation, housing, electric, gas, everything. It need these questions, and there's going to be some difficult questions that need answering, so they'd better be ready to bloody answer them. They can throw their beliefs out the window. You've got to get down to the nitty-gritty and say it as it is, which is what this channel is all about. This has been Street Switch Photography. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Go and hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the comments. Call out to everybody that was commenting on the channel this morning. I will hopefully see you in the next video. Bye for now.
Street Switch Photography.
Get them flags up.